Yo guys, what's up? Welcome back to another YouTube video. I know it's been a long time, but today I have a banger for you guys. I'm going to show you guys exactly how I made $30,000 in 7 days wholesaling real estate, and I'm giving you my exact strategy. So bring a pen and paper, take some notes because I'm going into all of it. So before I get into this really quickly, if you guys are new, my name's Ari Wholesale. I do 6 figures every single month wholesaling real estate. I'm based out here in Houston, Texas, and as you guys know, I don't like to sit here and just talk about money and stuff like that. I get straight into business. I'm gonna give you guys my exact strategy that got me $30,000 check in 7 days, literally from start to finish. And no, I didn't spend 8 hours a day making cold calls, and I didn't spend five to $10,000 a month on Facebook or Google ads. And just for some proof, here's the picture I took as soon as I grabbed that $30,000 check. It was a bit at nighttime, so it's a bit darker. I didn't really, fucking record it or do anything crazy. I just took a crazy picture. I was like, holy shit, it's $30,000. And really quickly, before I jump into my whole system and give it out to you guys, I'm going to show you guys some of the results my students have. I mean, I do this one-on-one with students all the time, and they close deals every single day. As you can see, this is just some of the recent screenshots. I have a bunch more, but it would really take up like the entire screen, and I can make literally a whole video just going over my students' results. But yeah, if you guys are interested in me one-on-one getting my system set up for you and you closing a deal with it within, a month or two, I should have a link for my one-on-one in the description below. Just click it. It's a quick video going over everything and sign up. We can get on a call and see if you're even a good fit. But yeah, I just thought I'd show you guys some of the recent results my students have been having with my system. All right, enough of me yapping. I hate doing that shit. Let's get right into it. So, step one is actually leads. I get this question all the time, and I'm going to go over exactly how I get my leads, where I get my leads, because this is a very important step in wholesaling. Proper data and stuff like that plays a big part in you actually closing deals. And I'm going to, pretty much show you guys where I get all my leads from, my lists and stuff like that. I know I have it covered up, but I'm about to go over it right now. So there's three main software sites I like to use to get my property data and leads from. Number one, Deal Machine, Batch Leads, and PropStream. These are my favorite. They have really good data. They do the skip tracing as well, so you shouldn't have a problem like trying to skip trace your stuff. They provide it for literally all the lists you pull. So this is where I get the leads from. This is where I got the $30,000 deal lead from too. I actually used batch leads, but yeah, these three all work amazing. All right, guys, now that you know where I actually get my leads from and where you should be getting your leads from, I'm going to go over what type of list to pull, and I'm going to give you guys my exact filter I use to pull like my list. They bring me deals every single month. And we're actually going to pull a list live together. I'm going to show you guys exactly how to set up the filter and everything. So literally, I'm telling you, I'm going over everything in this video. So just continue watching. So this is literally my exact filter. I do property type, single family, an estimated value over 350,000, or my fault, to 350,000. Ownership, we want to focus on individual owned, not corporations, LLCs, because that'll be other wholesalers. Length, we do 5+ years of ownership. Equity over 30%, that technically qualifies as high equity. And then market status, obviously we target off-market properties only. And actually, we're about to plug this into batch leads, and I'm gonna show you guys exactly what it looks like. So like I was saying, I use batch leads. You can use Deal Machine, PropStream. They all work the same. They're pretty much all the same. Batch leads and PropStream are one. They're owned by the same company. If you're trying to do this step for free and manually, I really hate to break it to you, but you're probably gonna have a hard time. You can use PropWire. That's a free route, but then you're gonna still have to figure out how to skip trace. And you can take the whole True People route search, which is free, where you just put in the address on True People search and get the info. But that info is really hit or miss. Um, I recommend just spending the cost on the software. My program actually show you how we do all this for free, so you don't have to do any of this. But really quickly, I'm gonna go over my filter. So for example, say we're targeting the city of Houston, Texas. We would just put Houston, Texas up there, and then for filters, property class or characteristics, make sure it's residential, single family. Um, I like to have a lot size minimum of 2,500, just so we're not dealing with really any like tiny houses. MLS status, like I was saying, make sure it's off market. We don't deal with any on market stuff. Ownership info, like I was saying, individual, not corporate owned. Years of ownership, you put a minimum of 5. So it's not some like recently bought shit. I like to do the last sale date. I just set it to 1930. And you can set this to 2020. Honestly, you can just do that over the years of ownership one. This is actually just a little bit better. And then valuation and equity, again, depending on your market, but here, and I usually recommend 350,000 be the maximum estimated value. This just basically means the value of the property, like at the ARV, is around 350,000. So you're not really dealing with higher end properties. That's usually not ideal for wholesaling. And minimum equity percent or rate, we set it at 30, which is technically high equity. This is all I do for my lists. And the reason I do that is because it gives us a lot of volume per list. So in the whole entirety of city of Houston, it's giving us 85,000, which is a bit too much. I personally usually like do per zip code. So we could do 77021 just for an example zip code. And as you can see, it should give us, yeah, around 1,200, 1,300 properties. As you can see, like just glancing at these look like solid, wholesale type of houses. From here, again, you would just save the list, select all save, and the great thing about these softwares is they actually do all the skip tracing stuff for you. So that's like another big step that you don't have to deal with. You get all the owner information, their address, phone numbers, multiple phone numbers, all that good stuff. You just get really quickly. Um, but yeah, this is exactly how I get my list, where I get it from, what exact filters I'm using. Now, if if your result is a bit higher, um, and it's giving you a lot, you can sub down and use some of these quick filters as well. Like you can just toggle on absentee owner as well. Um, See, now we have 314 properties that fit that good criteria, but these are also, the owners are absentee, so they have high equity. Um, Everything lines up perfectly for it to be a wholesale deal, and they don't, they have an absentee owner, which is a little bit extra, but again, it makes the list smaller. You can do vacant property right here. This will make it a little bit smaller. Let's see what this gives us. So 55. Now, so a small lists like this are solid if you're just going to sit here and nail out cold calls. But, the whole point of this is we're going to be doing volume to be able to get in front of a lot of people at once, just so we can beat other wholesalers to deals. See, like this looks like a nice wholesale deal. But yeah, this is the exact software I use and the exact filter. Wow, this actually looks like a really solid wholesale deal right here. But yeah, now let's talk the most important part of this whole system, the outreach. Like I was saying, I do all this stuff. I close 4+ deals every single month. I close that 30,000 deal. I do absolutely no cold calling. I do no expensive ads. I don't run any Facebook or Google ads. I don't buy any trash PPL leads, and I don't spend my time looking for like on market crap on Zillow trying to talk to agents. A lot of things people don't understand is agents actually make their money off of commission. Um, and you must be out of your damn mind if you think an agent's going to come take a cut out of their commission for you to be able to wholesale a deal. It's just delusional. Anyone telling you otherwise is just trying to sell you a course. And don't get me started about on for sale by owner. Those people are looking for ridiculous numbers on properties, and they're not even interested in bringing an agent in to represent them. So what the hell makes you think they're gonna, let you get it at such a discount to where you're able to actually come and make a nice assignment fee on that property? So I don't do any of this stuff. I'm about to show you guys exactly what I do. What I do and what I use to consistently close deals is text blasting. This is also the same exact system I set up all my students with. They start getting leads and deals coming in pretty quickly. Um, there's a few reasons I love text blasting over any other form of marketing. Number one, you have complete control. So I can go pull a list and I can choose the zip code. Like I was showing you guys, I can choose different things. Like if it's an absentee owner, just I can choose what type of list. I can choose all that sort of stuff. I know where I want to target, and the big differences between cold calling and text blasting is you can spend 8 hours a day making cold calls, and you're probably going to be able to ring up to 200 contacts on the list, maybe get lucky to get, one or two leads out of that whole 8 hour session, opposed to me text blasting that same list of 1,200 that can take me possibly a month to call. I will text and get in front of every single person on that list instantly. I will instantly start having replies coming in, instantly starting conversation, instantly qualifying, instantly setting up appointments, and just going on from there. What I do is do one big blast every single Monday. I let the automation roll through because we have such a high response rate because of the way we do it. We pretty much squeeze our lists and make sure, if I have a list go out on Monday, they're getting pretty much 7 days worth of text until I get a response out of every single person on that list. And that's how I'm able to close 4 deals every single month. We do high follow ups with SMS. The money is in the follow ups. So I do text blasting again. I'm not wasting 8 hours of my life making cold calls or spending crazy money on ads. The crazy thing about text blasting too is the cost is actually so cheap. I know with what I use, the software you'd be getting in my program, the cost per text is literally 0.019 cents per text. So you can scale the shit out of this. And again, you're not going to be spending thousands of dollars on like ads. Now, I do want to take you guys behind the scenes of the $30,000 deal. This is live from my system. This is where we do all the texting and stuff like that. For some reason, my computer wants to crash every time I try to take a screenshot, so I had to literally pull my phone out and take this picture and send it out here to do this. But as you can see, she responded back to our initial text blast offer. We hopped on a few calls. We were talking numbers. This seller was highly motivated. She was looking for $120,000. And as you can see later, she was also looking for us to pay closing title and all that stuff. Um, Here, as you can see, she's talking about 120 grand. And I pretty much told her, if we can do the 120, what's her timeline looking, right? I was just trying to see this to see how like for real she was. Obviously, we weren't going to do it at 120 because it wouldn't have been a wholesale deal for us at 120. She said, when you're ready, me too. I said, cool, okay. And I was like, I'll send over the contract tomorrow over DocuSign. So obviously, like I was telling you guys, we couldn't do it at 120. I literally told her, I was like, hey, so unfortunately, we can't do at 120 with all closing and title. That really would have put us at like 130,000 all in. And our margins weren't looking good at 130,000. I told her, look, we can't do the 120. So she said if we're doing 120 cash, she'd be down. If obviously, if not, no. She actually gave us a call, and on that call is when obviously I got there. I really pushed it on her motivation. She was highly motivated to like move. She pretty much had to move. It was a big financial situation. And we told her like, listen, your house is in really bad condition. You need the money. And I wasn't like directly telling her this stuff. It was sort of like I was getting her to answer her own question to bring her down to the price that, obviously was going to work for us. So that call, like I'm telling you guys, you're not going to strictly close deals off texting. Like that's sort of impossible. You're going to have to get on the phone and talk to these sellers. But it's not a cold call. As you saw, we already had prior text history. We were obviously in like a lot of conversation. We were talking numbers and all sort of stuff. I ended up just bringing her down to the number we needed for this to work over a call. So this is a little bit after. We obviously got her down to 80K. And I sent over the contract and all that sort of stuff over through DocuSign. Now at 80K, she wanted closing and title and all that stuff paid. She didn't even have some back taxes, so it really did put us at like 90,000 really after everything. But we got it locked up under contract. For 80, we did make that assignment fee of around 30,000, as you guys saw the check in the start of this video. Yeah, as you guys see, we made that $30,000 check from that deal. That was all like behind the scenes of like the texting that was going on, what I was going over with her on the call, and we ended up making a $30,000 assignment fee on that deal, and it literally took me 7 days from start to finish. Um, Now this wouldn't have been possible if I was sitting there making cold calls for 8 hours a day. Um, just being able to get in front of such a big list so quickly, to being able to get all the leads from that list and quickly send out offers, talk to these homeowners. That's how I did this. That's how I'm able to close 4 deals a month. That's how I have students that are able to close deals every single month consistently. Cold calling is outdated, and I'm sure you don't want to spend thousands of dollars on Facebook and Google ads. Text blasting is 100,000% the way to go. Listen, guys, I'm not gonna sit here and spend this whole video just yapping about how I made that 30,000. I showed you guys literally start to finish my entire process, where I got my leads, where I got my list, what form of outreach I did on that list. I didn't do the cold calling or any of that crap. I showed you guys everything, even the behind the scenes text conversations. Um, Listen, if you guys are interested in setting up my exact working text blasting system from start to finish with me one on one until you do get a deal closed with it, I have a link for my program down in the description below. It's probably the best program out here in wholesaling. It's not crazy expensive. Again, I set you up on my system software automation to get one-on-ones with me until you do close a deal. Again, as you can see, I have many students that do close deals, and this is just some of them. This is just a few. I have a few more even on my like actual page where you book the call. There's some more results there as well. So this shit works. It's very effective. And yeah, if you guys are interested, again, click the link below. Get started with me. I promise you, it's an amazing investment. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you guys did, please drop a like, comment down below what type of video you guys want to see next, and subscribe to your boy. We're sort of coming back into YouTube. I know it's been 3 months, but yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one.